Hello, everyone. I am Rebecca Danise, co-host of the Bucket List Show with Tammy. We created this show because we wanted to serve you so you could fill your bucket to live your most abundant life. And my bucket list is going to be different from Tammy's.
Yes.
But the idea is that we don't want people to forget that life is about living it fully with abundance and being kind. And having fun. So today we're going to talk about a fun topic. We're going to talk about travel.
We are going to talk about travel.
So Tammy went on a cruise recently, and just as a reminder, travel is also a strength for Tammy. She has her own travel company,
Yes.
and we're both realtors, and we decided that this format to give good information and make sure people live the most abundant life, this was our format, so this works. So Tammy, where did you go on your vacation?
I actually took a Western Caribbean cruise.
And you didn't take me, by the way.
I didn't. Not this time.
Okay.
We'll find a place to
Okay.
squeeze you in. But no, we took a cruise. When I say we, it's my business partner, Teresa Cheney, and I with Journey Adventure Travel and Tours. And we took a trip on the MSC Meraviglia in the Western Mexico. Trek for 7 nights.
Oh, nice.
And,
I'm jealous.
It was amazing.
Oh.
Absolutely amazing. The MSC Meraviglia is a beautiful ship. MSC ships are pretty beautiful in and of itself. They have a lot of mirrors, a lot of tiles. You know,
Nice.
they have these beautiful Swarovski crystal staircases with lights underneath them, and are great for taking photos.
Nice
if
and
you want formal
fancy.
photos together. And at the same time, cruises can be quite relaxed and natural
Comfortable.
at the same time. So yeah, we had a great time.
What port did you go out of?
We went out of Port Canaveral.
Okay,
and,
nice.
Which is pretty close to our area here in Port St. Lucie. It's about a 2-hour drive
Okay.
from here. We always choose to stay at a hotel the night before.
Yeah, it makes it
so
easier.
we did stay at a hotel actually in the Vero area, which is only 20 minutes away
Okay.
from there. So we did stay in that space the night before so we could relax, wake up. We were packed and
Perfect.
started our vacation really a day early.
So, any fancy excursions? What did you do on the boat?
Well, okay, first of all, let's talk a little bit about the itinerary.
Okay.
So, we actually had a couple days at sea on this sailing, and we got to visit MSC's Ocean Key Marine Reserve,
Perfect.
which is their private island in the Bahamas. Absolutely beautiful, stunning, pristine. If you are a beach lover,
Yeah,
just a beautiful set of lagoons and beaches to visit within this space.
That would be perfect. Give me a
yeah.
book and I'm all set.
Well, and that's exactly what their island really is built for.
Yeah.
It's just built for kicking back and relaxing and taking some time to unwind.
And it's nice. They force you to do that because that's the part that we forget.
Well, and that's exactly true. I mean, we live in an age where we're still connected, so, the great thing, MSC's packages offer a lot of them. And you can do a standard, what we call a sail away rate, where you just basically get your bare bones, cruise. But at the same time, they sometimes offer, quite often, what they call their drinks and Wi-Fi package.
Nice.
So
Perfect.
that way you don't have to worry about getting nickel and dimed for drinks. You've got Wi-Fi to stay connected, whether that's via social media or just keeping up with your emails, which I did do,
Right.
on this trip.
Yeah, because some people, they are multitasking. You are doing a little bit of work and you're
Oh,
trying
I
to
do.
enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
That's just how, we are today.
Well, and I find, for me, that work-life balance is work and life.
Yeah.
That really is
Yeah.
what it is for me personally. I enjoy what I do for a living. So even when I am away, I do spend some of that time
Yeah, no, I
working.
mean, yeah,
it
I
doesn't
mean-
feel like work a lot of the
Well,
time.
no, when you like what you do, it all just falls into place, and hopefully everybody's found that niche.
Yeah.
And if they haven't, then hopefully this show will remind them a little bit.
Well-
And just scratch off the simple things that we can do on our bucket
Well,
list.
and it's a real blessing. And it also reminds people that, if you're afraid to take the time to get away because you've got that ongoing
Yeah.
project that you have follow-ups to do, you still have the ability to do that when you're on ships today.
Correct.
With the Wi-Fi packages and things they have. So instead of, sitting at home and doing projects, you could technically spend some time away And dedicate a day or half a day
Yeah.
here and there to do some work at the
Work
same
on
time.
your balcony,
Yeah.
sipping whatever.
Yeah, I worked with their photo area to make sure I had my laptop set up correctly, so I had the ability to do some work away from home and have that connection that I needed.
Good.
So that enabled me to be able to communicate with my clients, the ones that I was wrapping up on some things. So that was a good thing. And at the same time, I could work on those projects and then, step off the ship and go visit Ocean Key.
Right,
So that was part of that itinerary. And then, like I said, we had spent a couple of days at sea in between some of these, but our primary visit of ports was Belize City, Cozumel, Mexico. And we did have Nassau, on the front end. And then, like I said, a couple days at sea. And it's amazing how quickly that time goes.
Yeah, a week flies by.
Yeah. The entertainment on board was just stellar, phenomenal.
Really?
Very talented, huge range of professional dancers, singers on board the ship. I was
Fabulous.
really, from standard musical numbers that might have been something that was a throwback to the 70s or 80s, and then taking a turn with that and bringing it out Broadway style or opera style. The range of talent was just amazing to me.
And that's the good thing, when I took my cruise, to bring the shows, everything to us, the fine dining, the shows, and then you have excursions, that's what makes the whole, benefit of cruising fun.
Well, and it really, if you had to nugget those things down on land, if
Right.
you really had to nugget those
Yeah,
things down on
it's-
land,
you're not gonna-
cruising in general is really a good value add proposition for vacationing for families. Because you have varieties of foods, so if you've got picky eaters in the family, everybody
They have that row of chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget, your kids are on vacation too, so they get to eat what they want, you get to eat what you want,
Yeah, no, it's-
everybody kind of gets to pick and choose what they like to eat, and, and they get to enjoy those things. Same thing with shows. They do have kids areas on board, I didn't have children with me, so that didn't really apply to me, but it was fun to watch as we came through certain areas. They had these kids programs going on, like in the gym area, they had them doing all kinds of little exercise things, and the kids were just having fun. You could tell they were having a good time. So lots of fun for them to have on the ship with the slides and the activities for the children. And then they have 4 different dining rooms that you could partake
from.
in.
Nice.
Yeah, you could partake in. They always have you assigned to one particular dining room, when you board or dining time.
Okay.
So we had been able to do that. They actually sell their packages a little differently than some of the lines out there.
Okay.
They sell that in what we call either a Bella, for Fantastica, Aurea, or Yacht Club
Okay.
package experiences. So those different experiences allow you to do different things.
Okay.
So.
So where did you get off the boat, and what was your some excursions that you did?
Oh my goodness. We actually stopped. I had never been to Belize, so that
Okay.
was a fun thing for me. There are a lot of ports I've been to, but Belize was not one of them. And we actually visited the ruins in Altunha. And Altunha had these wonderful ruins that were discovered and really made known. They had this large jade head that they had found, which really made that area famous within
Wow.
Belize City. So they started uncovering all these other, temples that were underground there in that space. So it kind of starts there, and they really are kind of a chain of different, like you've heard probably, of the different ruins that you visit in Mexico, for
Right.
example. I didn't realize there were ruins in Belize. Okay, so that was something new and different. My business partner Teresa was a little more brave than I was. I'm not a person who does well with heights.
Yeah. no.
So, I just have to brag on her because, she went straight up those stairs and I would have been stuck there.
Yeah, I would have just.
They would have had to helicopter me down.
Yeah,
But
I wouldn't have done. No way.
but it was not something I could have done. But I'm really proud of her because she did something that I could have never done. She was up and down. It didn't bother her at
She
all.
marked it off her bucket
Yes,
list.
she
Jumped from
did.
the ruin. So good
and,
job.
and it was really cool because sometimes, I'm glad you bring it up that way, because sometimes that bucket list thing really is a way to kind of bring back a memory that you've had of something else. And what was cool about her experience, what it really did is her climbing that space in Altunha was kind of a way to kind of bring back that memory
Connect
of
with her
her
mother.
and her mother, who is now long passed. So, so that really did check off a bucket
did,
list
yeah,
thing. It
so
was something that
good
she
for
had done
her.
with her mother in the past, and to be able to do it again. So I think
Yeah.
a lot of times those bucket list items we have are very sentimental to us.
Yeah, they could be small. It could be something so personal for you. A bucket list doesn't have to be that major trip or just buy that house. It could be just, that next step. And, that's what we want people to do.
Well, and what's really cool about that too is that next generation experience that she had, because we were on this trip with her son and his significant other and her daughter and her significant other. And for her to be able to have that experience, next generation
She
down
repeated it.
with her children.
Yeah, so she
And,
jumped with her children as mom.
so what I can envision is 20 years from now, 30 years from now, their children having that same type of experience with their kids.
Right.
And, so what a great legacy
Right, and
to
we want to
kind of
give it to the
bring and
next
keep it down,
generation. When I went to Belize, there was a tea farm.
That's
on our
right.
cruise. So you could go, you could pick out your teas, you could make your teas, and it was just beautiful. And, I'm a big tea drinker, so I loved all that. But Belize itself was just beautiful.
Belize, it was absolutely beautiful. And it's interesting that you bring up the teas, because some of the things that they had shared with us is how a lot of the herbs and things on that island were really used for medicinal purposes, whether it was to calm your tummy or to get rid of a headache, and it was simply chewing on special leaves that grew from a tree.
No,
these
it's
things
true.
that we really give up, for granted here.
No, we forget that. We
we go to the
forget that we could
pharmacy.
use plants. But I love tea. I drink every kind of tea, and I have a tea for everything. So
nice.
to me, I think it's common. What did you do in Mexico?
Oh my goodness. We had so much fun in Mexico, and I want to share that experience with you. But I think we need to take a little short break.
Okay, perfect. We will be right back, and we'll continue on.
Are you looking to buy, sell, or lease your commercial property? Do you want to sell your business? Do you need a property manager? The Jeremiah Barron & Company commercial real estate experts have managed over $1 billion in commercial real estate transactions. Our agents focus on each client's specific needs to deliver results. For more information, visit treasurecoastcommercialrealestate.com. Located in St. Lucie West, Barron Academy is a private school that caters to students with autism and other unique needs. Barron Academy hosts grades K to 8, offering paced lessons and smaller class sizes guided by a passionate team of experienced educators. Curriculums are tailored to each student's abilities, which builds confidence while nurturing learning. For more information, visit exceptionalacademymypsl.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I am Rebecca Danise, and this is the Bucket List Show. We're going to continue on with our travel. So, Tammy, tell me where you stopped in Mexico.
We actually made a stop in Cozumel. And I've been in Cozumel many, many times, but I just kind of wandered around, and experimented there. This time we decided to do something a little different. And we met up with a company under the name Tortugas Cozumel, and they had an excursion that was pretty fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We actually ended up taking a Jeep to an area there called the El Cedral. And the El Cedral is like a city just outside of Cozumel.
Okay.
That is the oldest city in Mexico. Like, they're the founding family.
Oh.
And it's not an easy
nice
place
is
to
that?
get into. You got it.
Historical, everything.
Yeah, and so you have to go in with a guide. It's kind of considered private.
Okay.
So you have to go in with a guide. So we stopped at Tortugas Cozumel, He got us in there, and we actually went ATVing.
Oh, neat.
And that was exciting.
No one fell off, nothing?
No one fell off. I was kind of the lead ATV driver. We doubled up. It was myself and Teresa behind me, and then, of course, Taylor and her significant other, as well as Corey and his significant other behind us. And we just kind of trailed along. And then we stopped in this area called the Champita Cenote. And the Champita Cenote is a sort of like a watering hole that's hidden in this low area full of limestone rock.
Wow.
And it kind of looks green when you initially look at the water, but the water is clear. Okay. Very, very clear. And it takes on that green connotation because of the limestone.
Right.
You know,
the light brings it up.
Yeah, it was really just a beautiful space and so serene. It was kind of our break as we were ATVing through the area there, and that was so much fun. Corey took a nice dive. He was the brave one of the group.
Oh, I wouldn't have done that.
And so
I would have been too
he
scared.
got to the top of those rocks and then jumped into the water that we had down there, and so that was fun to be a part of that. And then of course we went ATVing some more. And then when we got back to where we came from, they had set up an area for us to do a tequila tasting.
Oh, perfect.
So that was fun.
Yeah, should have had that before you were driving.
Yes.
Right? To do it.
Well, and it was a lot of fun because, it wasn't just, here's some bottles of tequila and here are some shots and we're going to get you drunk and make you buy stuff. It wasn't like that at all.
Right.
It was really about learning what made tequila, and what they considered. Mexico really is proud of their tequila.
Right.
And the fact that they make tequila with the blue agave plant out of Jalisco, Mexico.
Nice.
And, they grow a lot like a pineapple would. It takes a long time to grow a pineapple, right? Well, it's kind of the same way with the agave. It takes a long time to grow those plants, and they press them. But he was showing us how they age them, and that they actually age each of their tequilas. They actually get barrels from Hennessy in Tennessee.
Oh, neat.
So they age their tequila in Hennessy barrels.
Oh, I wouldn't have even realized that.
Yeah. So I didn't understand the aging process, and how if it's clear, it really is the most toxic. It really is intended to be a mixer.
Oh, okay.
You are not intended to shoot that stuff, and how it takes on that caramel color as it starts to age. So you can tell the difference in the aging process of each. So they had an 11-month or younger, a 3-year-old, and a 7+.
Okay, that's interesting.
And then they had some blends, so of course, I couldn't help myself. I taste tested a number of them.
Yeah, I would have.
So I did come home.
You weren't driving the ship, so you're good.
No. Yeah, I brought a bottle home to share with the husband, and of their raspberry.
Sounds good.
No, not raspberries. Pomegranate
That
blend.
sounds good too.
Tequila, and but it was absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun to be able to do that. The great experience, I just want to kind of step back a little bit. The experience of that ATV ride is sometimes the biggest challenge is, you want to take that ride, you want to capture the moment, and you want to stop and take pictures, the whole time. Well, they actually had somebody on this excursion that was on an ATV that he ran ahead of us. And he took pictures as we were going down and through the trail, so that way we didn't have to worry about stopping and taking the time.
And that makes it, I also went to Cozumel. We went to a private excursion, and we went to a lagoon. Of course, my phone just died, and I don't know which one it was. But the one thing my daughter said afterwards is that you get so, you're taking so many pictures, you're not enjoying the moment.
That's right.
And so when we went to this lagoon, it was called Seven Colors Bacalar. So it was a private excursion, not through the cruise line, and it was spectacular because we went out to the lagoon, we had the fresh fruit, and then
So they served you a lunch, or what happened?
They just served us fruit. Then they brought us into town, and we went to a Mexican taco place. So it was just off the beaten path.
Oh,
And then we
nice.
went to someone's house, and we bought like some of the salsa and things that they were making. So it was nice to see, the real Mexico.
The real Mexico, exactly.
But the idea that on the ATV, that's a big idea that they took all the pictures.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you could just focus and enjoy your trip.
Well, and they were all about safety too.
Yeah, that's
like
true, too.
they kind of gave us a run through at the beginning, making sure that we weren't turning around to look at the guy behind us, because of course then you take your eyes off the
Right.
road, and if you hit something, you can hurt yourself. Just reassuring that that's his job. It's his job to make sure that you're safe, and they really did a tremendous job providing, keeping the helmets clean, keeping the goggles clean. They provided all of that stuff for you.
And
It
that's
was great.
fabulous that, the cruise is more than just cruising. You're more than just being on the cruise and sailing the ocean.
Right.
It's all this stuff that you wouldn't have seen
That's true.
by getting off.
That's true.
So what else did you do? Anything else?
Well, like I said, we went to a myriad of shows. We actually ate in the panorama dining room
Okay.
that they had there. And of course, I actually do exercise when I'm on vacation. So I did take my...
I love walking the ship,
I do
though.
too,
It was
especially
beautiful,
early
and it's
in the
quiet, and
morning.
it's pretty.
It's beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. It's beautiful to be able to walk the ship early in the morning, be able to see the sunrise in different ports. That's kind of
Yeah.
my fun thing. I love
Yep.
the morning. So having a place where you could exercise, get a little workout. So, if for those of you out there who are concerned that you're just going to pack on the pounds, for me, it's never about quantity of food. It's always about the ability to taste a variety of things
Right.
on a ship. So there's a lot to taste from.
Oh,
a lot of great
The buffet
variety.
just goes on, and then the restaurants.
Well, and even in the restaurant, we were in the same restaurant for our seating every day, but it was about the fact that they had some regular stuff on the menu, but they also changed up the menu every
nice.
day, so you weren't stuck with the same menu items every day, even down to changing some of the desserts on the menu. The appetizers and entrees were changed, and then they
good.
carried some staple
So
stuff.
every
that was
day you have a
standard.
variety.
Absolutely. So, we were able to do those things. We played The Quest, which for us is a really big thing. For those of you who aren't cruisers, you will be in for a treat the first time you ever cruise, and asked to play The Quest. It's an adult game show. So that's kind of fun. So we're pretty competitive with that. Most of the time we come with our supplies in hand, and we're ready to win. That's kind of our thing. So we played those things. They had trivia set up.
Nice.
They had dancing parties. They had different varieties of different times of the day where you could go and learn how to do a different type of dance, whether you were doing that on deck 15, which was where the pool was set, or if you were doing that on deck 6 in the Maravilla Lounge,
Nice.
where what they of course do is they've got their professional dancers, and they're rotating, and they're
great.
showing you how to do the salsa, or how to do
Nice.
70s dancing, or how to do 80s dancing, or and so that was kind of fun.
Oh, good.
To be able to do those things.
Well, you look fresh and relaxed.
I
And,
am fresh and
that's
relaxed.
the
I want to do
whole
it
idea.
again.
Me too. So if someone wanted to start planning a cruise,
Yes.
what should they do? How?
Well, really the first step is pinpointing when you have the ability to go, okay? And I would strongly encourage you to use an agent, not just because I'm biased, because I am an agent, travel agent, or what we really consider ourselves to be travel consultants.
Right.
Because our job really is to help you uncover what it is that you want to do.
Correct.
Make sure we get you on the right type of ship, if a ship is what your choice is versus a tour, because we do land tours as well. But really is to kind of narrow down what kind of vacation are you looking for. It helps to know what your spend is. We're not trying to sucker you into a specific
Right.
price range. We really want to understand what it is you're looking for, and are we going to have the ability to do it?
Right.
So understanding what your budget is, or a barometer of a budget helps, so that way we can help you do that.
Right. But as an agent, you have the information on the size of the ship.
Yes.
What port are you going to go from?
Right.
And then all those add-ons.
Right. Well, the add-ons, in regards to drink packages, excursions, and there's a lot. We don't just deal with one brand.
Right.
There were over 270 ships out on the ocean at any given
Oh,
time.
that's amazing.
And so, it's getting a little clogged up, sort of like, airlines, right?
Right, yeah, and they're all
So-
pretty much going,
Yeah.
relative to the same place.
Well, and that's it, because they really do work in conjunction depending on where people travel. I mean, we are fortunate here in Florida. We've got 5 ports,
Yeah,
and, so we can drive to a lot of our ports, but not everybody can do that. They got to be able to fly. So we help to work out the logistics for those things. If you've got family flying in and out of town, we can help with those things on the front end and the back end when you're taking that cruise. We really do specialize in multi-generational groups, so families of all ages and or teams of all ages, to get you on ships or with all-inclusive resorts or those places that will accommodate you.
right. Yeah, I mean, when I did our cruise, we had a big group of people, we had the agent, and I think the idea of the agent is you're going to give us the information that we don't know.
Well, and that's true. And
when you're doing that, it's hard. You need someone to guide you.
Well, and we all have a lot of information that is thrown at us today via email. I live, eat, and breathe in my email box. It's fortunate and unfortunate at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's necessary because I have a lot of information that's provided to me on behalf of my clients. And so you can imagine if you're a person who has a hard time following up in your own personal emails, when you start to put a trip together, they're going to start throwing, if you're doing it yourself, they're throwing all kinds of stuff at you. And you're not even sure what you're getting. You're just like, oh, that must be about my cruise, and then you ignore it. Well, it could be something very important. It could be something about your itinerary has changed, or maybe there's a problem and they're having to cancel or move it, or you just don't know. There could be a guideline that's changed, and if you don't pay attention to it, you could create a problem with trying to board.
Right.
So we stay on top of those things, and if we don't know immediately, we find out.
Right.
And we really are there to be an advocate.
Right, and that's what we need. I mean, the minute you type in, I want to go to Hawaii, next thing you know, I have 50 emails. Just it's building on my email box. You don't know where to begin, where to start, but to have someone who is a consultant to guide, the person makes a big deal, and and it's another expense. It's an important expense, but it's also the moments and the memories, and you want it to be that gift to yourself.
Right, and the ability to, like I said, you decompress.
Right.
You decompress, and it doesn't matter whether you're doing that on MSC ship or Royal Caribbean Celebrity Princess, you're doing it at an all-inclusive like Ibero Store or Ryu Resorts, or even Dreams or Am Resorts, Secrets. They're all just a variety of different things. Just a great way. Reward yourself for the hard work you do.
And this year is 50 years of Walt Disney.
Yes, it
so
is.
You could even plan a land trip if a family wants to come down and see that celebration.
That's right.
It ends, I think, in March.
Yes, it does.
But either way, there's always new things on at Disney, so that could be, a land thing that you could do. So it doesn't have to be a boat or a cruise.
I mean, the real important thing to know is, if you have questions for me or Teresa, then you could certainly reach out to either one of us at 772-882-3165, or you could email me directly at tcrandell, that's TCRANDELL, at journaventuretravel.com.
Perfect. So we are good for today.
Yes, we are. I could talk about this stuff all day long. Yes.
So again, I am Rebecca Danise. If you need anything on the real estate side, my number is 203-482-7297. Be kind, everybody.
And thank you so much for joining us and for listening. If you have any ideas of things that you'd like to have us cover and topics, please share that with us on our Facebook page, The Bucket List Show.
Thank you, everyone.